honesty is. He said, your master is not here, he will not know. And there's so many sheep, if one goes missing, how will he know? Just tell him it ran away in the desert. And I will give you the money, you take the money, give me the sheep. So the shepherd of that time, not the learned, not the one we read every day, we read on our websites and we read books and we read and we read and we read. But yet there's no upliftment in our iman. There's no change in our honesty. There's no change in our dealings with our family members. We'll hear this again and again that brothers build our ties with family members. If you have broken the ties, ask them for maafi. Allah's qasam, your nose will not break. Your nose will not even soil in the sand. Ask them for forgiveness. Say, brother, forgive me. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam says in a beautiful hadith that if a person is in an argument, even though he is right, but he accepts that he is wrong, just for the sake of dissolving that argument, Allah Ta'ala promises him a palace in Jannah. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, I promise him a palace in Jannah. So we need to ask ourselves, is my nose more important, or is that palace of Jannah more important? Is the agreement with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam more important? Let me tell you one incident just came to my mind. I don't know what time I have to end. It's difficult when there's no time limit. So one Sahabi comes to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he says, actually there was an incident where a certain tree was overlapping a yard of a non-Muslim. And that person came to the Prophet and he said that this tree which belongs to so and so of your disciples is overlapping and is causing me a lot of grief and difficulty. Why don't you get it chopped off or remove it from there? Otherwise I too will remove. So this person, after giving this complaint, moves away from there. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked the Sahaba, who is there that will buy this tree? Who is there that will buy this tree? So one Sahabi, he was not in the same gathering, but he heard that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying that whoever buys this tree, I guarantee him Jannah. So he comes to the Prophet ﷺ and he says that if I buy this tree, and not after buying this tree, it comes in his benefit. It is of no benefit. It was going to be removed. Will I get Jannah? Nabi ﷺ said, yes, you will get Jannah. This is one incident. Another incident, another ayat of the Quran where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that give qarad to Allah, give a loan to Allah. So one Sahabi comes to the Prophet ﷺ and he said, O Nabi of Allah, Allah is ghani, Allah Ta'ala is independent, He is the most rich. What does it mean by giving a loan to Allah? So Nabi ﷺ said that Allah Ta'ala is telling you that in lieu of that you will help others, Allah will give you Jannah. So he said, if I give my yard away, if I give my garden away, and those days the date farms were worth millions. Beautiful farm. He said, if I give this, will Allah give me Jannat? So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, yes, Allah will give you Jannat. This is a contract he had done. Immediately he stands from that majlis and he goes to his farm, to his vineyard or his date orchard. And he's seen his children eating the dates that were there. And he's seen his wife sitting there with the children in the garden. He tells them, come, leave from here now. Imagine us, we're sitting in our houses and someone say, move from this office. is given for charity. Move from this whole business I've given to charity. What will be our reaction? What will be our women's reaction? I said, leave this beautiful garden, it's given away now. So she says, why should we go from here? He said, it has been given in the path of Allah. So she actually congratulates him. And she says that indeed, you have done an amazing transaction, a very fruitful and beneficial transaction. And the dates that were in the hands of those children, she took it out and removed it and said, put these dates away, it no more belongs to us now, it belongs to Allah. And they leave this garden. Upon this, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that tells the Sahabi that you have indeed transacted the best of gardens in the gardens of Jannah. That was giving away a garden, giving away wealth, something that was dear to their hearts. Simple, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is telling us that if we do not break our family ties, we make sila rahmi, join family ties. If we have wronged someone, ask them for forgiveness. If someone has wronged us, forgive them for the sake of Allah. If you are in an argument, drop that argument. How long are we going to argue for? For 10 years, 20 years, 30 years? Some arguments even go to generations. Oh, his father done this to my father, so I won't talk to their children. But he's your cousin. He's your first cousin. Whatever happened between the fathers, that's their job. They have to answer for that. Why should we hold grudges? Small things, we make it a huge mountain for no reason. We build a wall around us. Why is this wall there? Rasulullah says, if you drop that argument, I promise you a palace in Jannah. Outwardly, it looks like we have been disgraced. I have been disgraced. My family has been disgraced. Why should I ask for maafi? What will people think about me? What will other family members say about me? That's the outwardly. Shaitan makes us think like that. But inwardly, Allah Ta'ala will raise your status. Man tawada'a lillah rafa'ahu Allah. This is the wordings of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. A person who humbles himself for the sake of Allah, Allah Ta'ala raises his status. And this is the night to do it. Why? Because on this night, few people will not be forgiven. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, when all those mercies and bounties and rahmat of Allah Ta'ala will be coming upon millions and billions of people, there are certain people Allah Ta'ala will not forgive. Certain categories of people. First is a mushrik, a person who ascribes partners with Allah. He will not be forgiven. Allah Ta'ala save us and grant each and every person hidayah. Secondly is a person who is a mushahin. This is where I was talking about dropping arguments, dropping quarrels and fights and hatred, ghadab. You can get angry, but don't hold malice in your heart for someone for days and days. So many times, just a miscommunication. It has been 2 weeks, he hasn't phoned me. So what? You phone him. It has been 2 years, he didn't call me. So why should I talk to him? If he didn't call you, did you call him? Many a times, like one of the scholars was mentioning, it's just miscommunication. Because he got too busy in what he was doing and we got too busy in what we were doing. After 5-6 months, he started doing something else and then we become enemies for no reason. Or he didn't tell me what he's doing. He hid this from me and he hid that from me. Let's drop it for the sake of Allah. Mushahin is a person who carries malice for the next Muslim brother. Hatred, jealousy, malice, do him down. Always planning and plotting against someone. Allah Ta'ala save us. The greatest nuqsan and the greatest trouble the Muslim Ummah have today is this. Whether it is on the social level of our homes, of our families, or whether it is on the global political level, The greatest nuqsan of the ummah is this mushahana. Everyone wants to keep to themselves and wants to do down the next person. Allah save us. That person will not be forgiven. Keep our hearts clean and pure. How many times we heard that incident of that Sahabi who Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that he is a Jannati. He goes into Jannah. Hazrat Anas radiallahu anhu says, I stayed with him for 3 days to see what extraordinary, amal he's doing. Look at Sahaba, look at their desire. That this guy got a certificate of Jannah, let me follow him, let me see what he's got to do. Maybe he's doing something that I'm not doing. For 3 days, he said, I stayed in his company, I became his student. And I was watching and looking what he's up to, what he's doing, but I didn't find anything different. After 3 days, I broke the news to him and said that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, you are a Jannati. You've got the certificate, a visa of Jannat. What are you doing? He says, I can't remember anything. The only thing I can remember is before I go to sleep, I forgive everyone. And anyone that has hurt me, I forgive them. And I ask Allah to forgive me for if I have hurt someone. I keep my heart clean and pure from everyone. Every night. So let us make this night the starting point of that. May Allah Ta'ala grant us Jannat. The third person that will not be forgiven, a person who is involved in intoxicants. Now this is not only alcohol, any type of intoxicants that will lead a person's, takes his consciousness away from Allah, from what he is doing, removes imbalances his mind, whether it is those gas pumps, that our youngsters are busy using, what they call it, laughter gas. Laughter gas actually deadens your mind. A person can switch off any second and he won't know what he's doing. And we see that around in our communities all the time. It is worrying. And they've called it a laughter gas, thinking that if I will get this, I'll become happy and I'll start, feel all hyper. Over time, it actually says it dries your mind to such an extent that it kills your mind. Then you don't know what is right and wrong. You don't know whether your father is standing in front of you or someone else is standing. And our youngsters many of them are hooked onto it, na'udhu billah. Drugs, what they call all this, in South Africa they call it tuck. They sniff it through the nose. Our youngsters are in there. When you talk to them, speak to them, after a little while they'll open up and then they'll tell you this one is doing this and that one is doing this and that one is doing this. I was also involved, alhamdulillah, I came out. So this is the night to make tawbah. You want ecstasy, spend your night in tahajjud. One night it will be difficult, second night it will be difficult. But you will find that treasure of ecstasy in there. It is an Arabic saying that if the kings of the time knew what treasure and what happiness and what ecstasy these people who stand up at night carry. These awliya Allah and these pious servants of Allah who read tahajjud every day. How much enjoyment they get out of it. If the kings knew that enjoyment, they would take a whole army and steal that enjoyment from them. There's a certain sweetness. Iman has a halawat, has a sweetness. We need to explore that sweetness. A person buys a piece of cake, you go to Costco, buy a cake and leave it there, no one touches it. Hey, it looks nice, the box is nice, hey, it's shining, this, that, everything, but we don't eat it. How will you taste what the cake tastes like? That's the condition of our iman. We know tahajjud is good, we know it can fulfill all our problems. Sa'atain, just now on Thursday, one of the South African Jamaat that was here, they gave a talk. He said one Arab brother has mentioned it beautifully. That Sa'atain, 2 hours, 2 o'clock at night. Rak'atain, 2 rak'ats of salah. Bil yadain, lift your hands to Allah with both your hands. And dam'atain, and shed 2 tears in front of Allah. all your problems are solved.